The NFL loves parity. It has done everything it could to provide a level playing field for franchises for more than 70 years now. But any given Sunday is not any given Sunday on Super Bowl Sunday. Anyone can win is great for the regular season, but that final game, it's reserved for a select few franchises, 20 to be exact. Now, there are a few reasons for this, and let's talk about the most notable one. The Super Bowl has only been around since the 1966 season. The World Series and Stanley Cup have been played forever, the NBA a little less than that. It's also pretty important to remember the NHL only had 6 franchises until the 1960s, and the NBA not many more. Yet, no professional sports league has embraced financial and competitive parity like the National Football League. It has very much been the NFL's calling card over the years. Believe it or not, you can actually trace parity back to 1952 and former NFL Commissioner Bert Bell. It has been a core tenet of professional football in America that any team can win on any given day, just not the Super Bowl. Sadly, I get the sneaking suspicion I know where many of you are going with this.
The NFL is rigged. It's rigged because Roger Goodell and the refs, the casinos, they're all in on it. And like, this is how I know. Listen to this, okay? So I have this 18-leg NFL parlay payout. Cool, 1.2 million. No big deal. But it didn't hit because the Browns didn't score 48 points. The Rams didn't have 2 second-half safeties. Sean McDermott didn't win 3 coaches' challenges. And I lost like 3 outright winners. And all that stuff didn't happen because the NFL is totally rigged, dude. Like this, it's so phony. It's so fake. I should have won that parlay. And you know what? You know how I know the NFL is rigged? Because strangers on social media said so. Must be true. Must be true.
Must be true indeed. Look, the NFL is not scripted. It is not rigged. Because if it was, someone out there would have a semblance of proof, even the faintest sliver of proof that the NFL is being rigged by someone somewhere. And no, a random guy tweeting on X from a Wendy's parking lot is not proof.
Joke's on you, chump. I had Wendy's for breakfast. This is a Sonic car hop. Hold on. Give me a Coney, only ketchup, extra ketchup, and anything with Heath bar in it.
You got me there, bud. Anyway, one of the most common complaints surrounding Super Bowl 59 in this matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles is that America is just tired of seeing the Kansas City Chiefs win the big game. That logic, though, is looking at the drop of water in the huge ocean. This is the 59th Super Bowl in one that is guaranteed to have a repeat winner, meaning the NFL has had 59 championship games in the modern era, and there have only been 20 winners. Now, look, if you want to include the previous NFL championship game era, we can do that. The number is propped up a bit with the Browns, Lions, and Cardinals now joining the party. Even then, though, we're talking about 23 champions out of 32 teams all time. By the way, the Cardinals don't even hang a banner for their NFL championships. They'll celebrate winning the NFC West, but not that. We all know it is the Super Bowl era that matters. The 20 champions, though, doesn't even tell the whole story here as it relates to Super Bowl victories. You can be tired of the Chiefs if they win this year. You can be tired of the fact they won the last 2, but what you should really be annoyed of, what you should really be sick and tired of is this. More than half of all Super Bowls, 34 in total, have been won by a total of 7 franchises. Basically, 58% of all Lombardi trophies are being held by 21% of the teams in the National Football League. That is not what parity looks like. One of the more peculiar stats here is that 5 teams, the Bears, Eagles, Jets, Saints, and Seahawks, have won a single Super Bowl. I suppose the Eagles can graduate upward on this list after this season, but that's neither here nor there. What is here now is that there are 4 NFL franchises that have won 5 or more Super Bowls over the years. You would expect, given the NFL's constant emphasis on parity, on everyone having an opportunity to win, that the distribution of championships would be dispersed a little better. Both at the top and the bottom. Sure, it's not quite the MLB or the NBA where 1 or 2 sides just lord over the rest of the league, but it also seems oddly contradictory of what the NFL is all about any given Sunday. And make no mistake, the National Football League, those running it, have done everything they have could to break up this monopoly of champions. The NFL draft has been around for pretty much ever now. The salary cap came into effect in 1994. Now, let's be honest about that. It was really a mechanism for owners to rein in their own spending, for them to spend less money on players' salaries. Of course, it was framed as this way to add parity, to build competition amongst teams, to stop franchises from hoarding the best players. Now, if we're being honest, it has certainly given teams more avenues to make the playoffs, to win more games throughout the course of a season. It's almost commonplace these days where teams go from worst to first in their division, or teams with losing records finish the following year with winning records. It's honestly not a surprise. We've just come to expect it during every single NFL season. Yet at the very tippy top of the NFL, it is very much a hegemony. And we're not just talking about the Kansas City Chiefs and New England Patriots of the modern era. The Broncos, Giants, Ravens, Steelers, Bucks, and Rams have all won multiple titles in the salary cap era. There are certainly different reasons why each team was able to win multiple championships during the salary cap era, but if we're just talking straight championship parity, the NFL is pretty much on par with Major League Baseball. So what is the deal here? What is happening? Why is this the case? Well, let's start with the most obvious reason. The NFL is full of stupid front offices and coaching staffs that seemingly exist to be exploited by smart decision makers. This story is as old as the day is long. Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes were not the #1 overall draft pick. A lot of teams had a chance to grab each of these Hall of Fame or soon to be Hall of Fame passers. Same goes for Travis Kelce and Rob Gronkowski. But even going further back on the football timeline, savvy teams really exist only because there are dumb teams doing dumb things that they can capitalize on. The Minnesota Vikings didn't need to trade for Herschel Walker, and they certainly didn't need to trade away all of those draft picks, what essentially kickstarted the Cowboys dynasty. Joe Montana was a third-round pick, while Bill Walsh had been bumping around the coaching ranks for basically 20 years by the time the 49ers hired him. The Steelers were drafting so well that their 1979 championship squad only contained players taken by them in the NFL draft. Now, there's also a certain element of luck that many of these great teams do benefit from. Drew Bledsoe has to get hurt for Tom Brady to play. How many of those 1970s Super Bowl champions were made possible because of the NFL's absolutely stupid home seating policy in the playoffs? I still, to this day, will never understand what the hell the NFL was doing when it came to home games in the playoffs during the 70s, but I digress. The thing is, though, you still have to be really good to benefit from being lucky in these situations. And by that, I mean you still have to be better than most to reach that championship level, to be on those fringes. Sure, the Chiefs and the Patriots have benefited from a few close calls or questionable decisions over the years. Yet you still must be in a position where that luck is beneficial to your team.
Oh, you admitted the fix is in 100%. You confirmed it, dog. And you know what? It all makes sense now because I had this parlay, right? Devin Singletary rush over 200 yards, and then the Giants beat the Eagles by more than 40 points, and it didn't hit, and now I know why it didn't hit. NFL is rigged.
Literally not what I'm saying, and I don't know who the hell is letting you make these ridiculous parlays, but it should not be happening. What I am saying is this. NFL parity is usually weeded out by the time you get to the Super Bowl. I mean, occasionally you get a Rex Grossman Bears in the mix, but by and large, you need more than luck to squeak by to reach the pointy end of the NFL season. Make no mistake, if the NFL was truly scripted or rigged, if Roger Goodell was truly some sort of puppet master, Super Bowl winners would be more diverse. If results were truly predetermined, more than a quarter of the league would have won over half of the Super Bowls that have ever been played.
You're so full of it, dude. You don't even know the half of what you're talking about. Listen to this. Let me spit some knowledge at you, right? I'm at the bar. I'm talking to this girl. She's the bartender. And I pull out one of these trying to impress her, right? A little single. And I'm like, this thing has the word tender on it. Think about that. Bartender, tender. And then you look at the back and there's a pyramid, and you know what shape a pyramid is in? It's a pizza. And then you have the gate, and it's all coming together.
I'm gonna stop you right there. Don't you have a Kid Rock concert to go get hepatitis at?
I already have it. And concert's next week, jackass.
Of course you do, and of course it is. Look, all of the crazy ramblings about the fix being in the NFL aside, the thing as it relates to parity and the Super Bowl, well, the reality is it's just a continuation of the age-old trend that has long been known in NFL circles. Smart teams do smart things and put themselves in a position to win, or at least be thereabouts, and dumb teams do dumb things. Having some combination of a Hall of Fame quarterback, head coach, or an all-time great defense improves your odds of winning the big one. Outside of that, though, for most teams, it's just hoping and praying the stars align and everything breaks right for you to have that perfect season. While not entirely impossible, the odds of that happening are not in your favor. That is why parity is rife in the NFL everywhere outside the Super Bowl. Thank you for watching this video. If you'd like to know more about the history of the NFL draft and how it went from this really tiny event that no one cared about to a huge multi-million-dollar juggernaut, check out the video in the upper part of your screen somewhere. And for more on the story of the NFL's biggest phony, well, check out the other video on your screen now. Until next time, I am Cheyenne Hollis. This is The Touchback, and as always, hashtag take it out to the 25.